everyone, I'm Evangeline right here at eTrailer. Since every bike rack fits every car differently, we're focusing in on how the Thule Verse fits on a 2011 Ford Escape. The focus here today is that we actually have the 1.25" version of the Thule Verse bike rack, which changes things a little bit when it comes to weight capacity of both the bikes you can put on here as well as cargo when you have it in the Arcos box configuration. The Thule Verse is definitely a sleek and beefy bike rack. This still has a weight capacity of 55 pounds per bike, so not that much of a difference compared to the regular 2-inch version. Plus you can carry bikes of different shapes, different sizes. It's a modular rack in the sense of there's a lot of add-ons you can get to this rack as you grow, like a ramp, as well as repair stands, things like that. For the Ford Escape, I actually would recommend a ramp if you are maxing this out to the 55-pound weight capacity, because this is going to be a lot of height and potentially a lot of weight of your bike on the rack. Now, if you needed access to things, let's say you needed to get into your Ford Escape, the good news is that you actually have plenty of clearance where you could partially open up that hatch door if you just needed to grab a helmet real quick. But if you wanted to fully tilt the bike rack away to get full access, there's this large handle at the end that you just pull, bring this down, and then you'll have way more space to get all the things. Plus, if you're like me where you like to switch out your shoes, hang out after the ride, you can do all that without having to take your bikes off. So that's a nice convenient feature you get with a Thule Verse rack, as well as the great clearance that you get with the Ford Escape. Bringing this back up, this will just lock into place once you're back into the drive position. So I talked about that high ground clearance. Let's take some quick measurements here. Now for this rack, if you measure from the end of the tray where you're going to load your bike up to the ground, that's going to be 27 inches off the ground. The other tray is going to be about 25 inches off the ground. That's how high you're lifting your bikes up and onto the rack, and that's why I recommend taking a look at that ramp option. The next measurement we'll take a look at is going to be the length this adds to your Ford Escape. So if you were to measure from the bumper till the end of the handle right here, that's 44 inches, which is on the longer end. So backing up into parking spots, or if you have a small garage, definitely be mindful of that extra space behind your vehicle. The way the Thule Verse secures your bike is you do have 2 touch points. The first is going to be your front wheel mount, and the second is going to be this wheel chock with a strap. And that means you can get bikes of different shapes and sizes on here. You also have this ratcheting strap of when you tighten down your bike, this lever lifts up to get a tighter fit on it, which I think is pretty cool. So taking the strap out and then coming over to the front, what I do is I recommend holding onto the bike with one hand as you press this ergonomic lever. Bring that up, bring that out. This secures very sleekly against the vehicle or the bike rack, and then now you can grab your bike and go. Now that motion there, that'd be a little tricky with a heavier bike. I mention this all the time in my reviews, but I do like how the hook stows nice against the vehicle, just because if I'm out riding, I like to leave the hooks out to the side to make it easier to load up the bike when I get back, rather than having to go through the work of flipping it all the way over and then ready to load. So that's just a small feature that I appreciate from using different bikes. But what if you aren't going for a ride? What if you're driving around town without your bikes? Well, you can move this into the compact position. So lifting up on the bike rack, this stows up or is folded up against the Escape. So this is what it looks like for all the people behind you. Full visibility of your window. Your taillights are gonna be a little bit covered unless you stow the hook in to the middle like I started to show you earlier, and your license plate will be covered. So the good news is that if you want to, you could get the add-on tail light and license plate kit, which incorporates a light bar as well as a spot for your license plates if you want to keep your bike rack on year-round. And then the measurement for the length, width, and the compact position is going to be from the bumper to the end of the rack, 18 inches. And that is a lot, but a lot of that is because of the Ford Escape's hitch receiver. That 1.25 inch hitch receiver is sitting out pretty far past the bumper, meaning there's lots of clearance back here. So earlier you saw me open up the door with the bike on. Well, this is what it looks like with trying to open up the door with the bike rack folded up. You'll still be able to sort of reach in there and grab a helmet, but again, if you really needed to, let's say, put away groceries and larger items, you can always just bring this back down. 1.25 inch receivers are always smaller and always have that smaller weight capacity, and also have a smaller pool of options for bike racks that will fit in them. So it is nice to see that the Thule Verse is not just an option for 1.25 inch hitch receivers, but a good option as well. It looks good, it's very beefy, high weight capacity, and lots of add-on opportunities as well. If you carry around, let's say, 2 step-through electric bikes, this will work out well for you because of how it is designed and how it is designed for even those smaller hitch receivers. Just be mindful again of the lower weight capacity compared to the 2-inch version. So hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you have a vehicle with an 1.25 inch hitch receiver, or if you wanted to see how the Thule Verse bike rack looks like on a 2011 Ford Escape.